Welcome back to Hutton Arena, the historic Hutton Arena at Hamline University, as we continue our coverage of the Pat Patterson Thanksgiving tip-off. Mike Peden and Alex Nagel with you. We're going to jump right into this next game, and what a matchup it's going to be, Alex. Como Park and St. Michael-Albertville.
Well, I tell you what, there's certainly a lot to like about this STMA team, isn't there, Mike?
And one of those players is number 4, Tessa Johnson, back after a broken femur last year, had an impressive AAU season with North Tartan, came back, and I'll never forget covering her in Summer Jam.
It's just so good to see her back in action after missing all of last year. So I'm really anxious to see what she does here this afternoon.
Well, I was going to say, in Summer Jam against the Essence Tip Hayes team from Florida, Tessa Johnson, pretty much by herself, carried that team to a win because 2 of her teammates, Nia Holloway and Mara Braun, they were competing in the state track meet and couldn't play. And I talked to her father after that game. He said Tessa Johnson was playing at 90%, and if that was 90%, I've got a sense 100% Tessa Johnson is going to be dynamite. And on the other end for Como Park, they bring back a lot of experience. Ronnie Porter, KK Asberry, they're small, but they're scrappy, and they're on a mission. They could not play outside the conference last year. They felt a little steamed about that. Lost in the section final to St. Croix Lutheran. They mean business this year as they try to get into the 3A state tournament.
I'm anxious to see this Como Park team as well. You know, we've seen Ronnie Porter play before, and we know what she brings to the table. So don't be surprised, Mike, if this St. Paul Como Park team presents some problems for this experienced STMA team.
The starters for STMA, the home team, it's Tessa Johnson, Emma Miller, Piper Carlson, Ava House, and Abby Hoselton. For Como Park, Ronnie Porter, KK Asberry, Chloe Dimitrick, Shakyla Walker, and Jada James. This game marks the second of 5 late conference matchups in Como Park's schedule, and that includes Hopkins twice. They played Hopkins yesterday, lost 83-43. They get them again on Tuesday.
Yeah.
The other late conference teams, Wayzata and Eden Prairie, they will come later in the season for Como Park, but they wanted to schedule tough. They've got Minnehaha Academy. That series is back on the schedule. They host Becker in February. They're going to play the creme de la creme in Class 2A, 3A, and 4A. They hope it will prepare them for postseason play. You've got a couple of college commits as well in Shakyla Walker and Chloe Dimitrick, wasting little time. Ronnie Porter, she had a great AAU season as well with FBC. Went to Milwaukee, dropped 29, and all 5 feet 3 inches of her. Her reel got nearly 1 million views. What Ronnie can do as a ball handler is flat out amazing. And KK Asberry going to St. Peter University, Division II school. Jada James with the tip-in. Ronnie Porter comes up with a rebound.
I tell you what, she's everywhere, isn't she?
On cue, Ronnie Porter with the floater. Or I should say the runner. Either way, it's 2 points, and Ronnie Porter makes it look so smooth. Abby Hoselton is fouled. She'll shoot 2. St. Michael-Albertville, a perennial when it comes to the state tournament. They missed the field last year, losing in the section round, but again, they didn't have Tessa Johnson.
Right.
And Tessa is such a difference maker for this night's team, and she was yesterday. St. Michael-Albertville trailed big against Rosemount. Tessa Johnson led the comeback, and I talked to Ken Hamry briefly, and he said, she is a difference maker. I'm glad she's on the floor again. And STMA, though, ever since they won state back in 2009 in 3A, they've been a force.
Yep.
Ray Johnson, Tessa's older sister, Mackenzie Kramer, she's at Lehigh now. A lot of athletes have come through St. Michael-Albertville. Emma Miller, boom, with a high arcing 3. Much like Ronnie, Emma only 5'2", so she won't intimidate you with her size, but she can contribute in a lot of ways.
She's got quite a smooth stroke, though.
And the Knights with a 4-2 lead over the Como Park Cougars. Como Park, the queens of the St. Paul City Conference. They have been for years. Ronnie Porter to Walker. Como Park did make one state tournament, and that is a shot clock violation.
I was kind of wondering, I was looking at that shot clock and how they were moving the ball, if they were aware of that.
And I'm a bit surprised. I was so caught up on the stories that I forgot we had the 35-second clock.
Como sitting in that 2-3 matchup zone.
Miller, the runner, swish. Emma Miller's got a high arcing shot. Dimitrick finds James in transition, got it. (6-4) early. Miller again. Short that time. Holzelton with the O-board. Miller this time feeds it to Johnson. Anytime Tessa touches the ball, there's a sense of anticipation. Holzelton against Dimitrick. She'll shoot 2. Big things expected out of St. Michael-Albertville this year. Abby Holzelton, a 3-sport athlete, volleyball, basketball, softball. She's a 9th grader, and Ken Hamry calls her explosive.
Willowy 5'9" frame gets both of those to go down.
Asberry to James. Finds Dimitrick down low, but Holzelton got there. Dimitrick stays with it.
Good recovery by Dimitrick there, getting that block ball.
Well, Chloe, she's been around a long time. 3-ball. No good. Asberry with the board.
And here comes Ronnie Porter
leaking out. Tessa Johnson is there. Ronnie trying the misdirection. Now the step back. In and out. Walker with the O-board as STMA was collapsing inside. Walker over to James. Jada had a solid freshman season, took a step back as a sophomore, but she can provide a source of scoring and rebounds for Como Park. Porter for 3. Knights ball. And they're going to get it. Well, they're going to get a chance at the free throw line. Piper Carlson left alone. Como Park kind of cheated over to the ball handler, and Carlson snuck behind him.
Yeah, missed assignment there on defense.
So that's going to put Carlson at the line for 2.
A lot of youngsters on this STMA team.
Piper Carlson stepped into a big role last year. She's the junior. Splits at the line, and that will be a dead ball rebound to... Nope, that's going to be a foul on STMA, so Como will get the ball anyway. Piper Carlson, when she's not playing basketball, loves the lake life, waterboarding, skiing. If it has something to do with the body of water, Piper Carlson is probably participating in it.
We were talking about that yesterday, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there are a lot of athletes who enjoy the water.
Yeah.
I think they should have taken up swimming. It's a fall sport. They could fit it into their itinerary. STMA leads 9-6 over Como Park. That's Shania Nichols-Vanette. She missed all of the 2019-2020 season, recovered from an ACL. She has battled some injuries throughout her prep career. She's the younger sister of Michaela Vanette, who you might recall when they went to state in 2016. Michaela Vanette, Andrea Adams. Carlson. Now Miller has it at the corner, but she loses it to Ronnie Porter. She finds KK Asberry for the transition bucket.
And St. Paul Como Park is going to need a lot of those transition opportunities this afternoon, I think, Mike.
And they have the speed to do it. Carlson to Hazelton. They swing out to Miller for three. Bullseye.
Oh, goodness.
Miller with the quick 8 points. And the Knights lead 12-8 over Como Park.
What a threat she is behind the arc.
Porter trying to work around a pair of defenders. Asberry for three. Too strong, but Walker is there for the rebound and the putback. And all 5 of Como Park starters have scored, but STMA catches them falling asleep. That was number 31.
That's
Lauren Hazelton. My eyes aren't what they used to be. And the problem is, you can attest to this, Alex, glasses and masks are not a great combination. So I'm sacrificing eyesight to avoid fogging up my lenses. Timeout, as Como Park, I believe, called that one. Yes, they had the ball.
The thing when I watched the warm-ups, the one thing from a Como Park perspective that I was maybe initially concerned with is that I didn't want to see them fall into the trap of being forced to launch up a bunch of threes. They haven't done that. They've been able to get a few transition opportunities. They're right in the thick of this ball game here, so you have to like what you're seeing from a Como Park standpoint.
Well, the one thing they have is speed to make up for their lack of height, so they don't have to rely on the three ball all that much. They have three-point shooters, but most of the time they can outrun their defenders.
Yep.
And Ronnie Porter got a taste of that last spring. She took up track.
It's one of those tricky matchups for head coach Ken Hamry of STMA.
And STMA, of course, going to the Lake Conference a couple years ago. I remember talking with Kent about that, and he said, we were looking for a bigger challenge. They used to be in the Mississippi 8, ran through the table, and Kent said, we were looking for a challenge, and I guess I found out, be careful what you wish for.
Yep.
But that's going to be
stepped on the line.
Kent was on it.
Miller had to point that out and said, okay.
Yeah. Kent was on it. The officials needed a moment. Well, hey, this is the first weekend of the season. Everyone is regaining their bearings. But you know what? I think going to the Lake worked out for St. Michael-Albertville because they get to play several top teams in the state twice. Number 50 is Shakyla Kraft. Oh, almost a walk there on Nichols Van Eck. And that's Jada James who goes all the way in for two.
Nice move and finish by Jada James.
Tessa Johnson for three, short. Asberry with the rebound, Como looking to run. Kick out to Porter. Nice passing by Como Park. They don't get the points out of it. They don't get a bucket, but I like that set nonetheless.
I did too. And here we go again.
Now Ronnie Porter has a chance to score on the break, and she will.
And we're knotted at 14.
14 all. Johnson. The kick out to Kraft. Going up against James. That was a tough shot. Nichols Van Eck collects the rebound. This time Tessa Johnson gets the tip.
Tessa Johnson saved that transition opportunity from happening. She'll get a breather.
Tessa Johnson has not decided on a college yet, but I can tell you she's getting looks from the Power 5 D1 schools.
As she should.
Lauren Hazelton, that is, with the pick. And the run out. Lauren Olselton gets on the board, and St. Michael-Albertville leads 16-14. Asberry trying to shake her coverage.
Thought
Can't
she
do
might
it.
have taken an extra step, too.
That was Maggie Lindemann, number 12. Como Park looking to bounce back after getting throttled by Hopkins, and St. Michael-Albertville.
Of that scintillating finish last night.
They did, coming from behind to beat Rosemount, and they have some unfinished business as well. Again, Tessa Johnson couldn't play last year, so the Knights would like to write a more proper narrative, at least in their favor. Asberry, step back jumper is short. Shakyla Kraft with the board. Kraft transferring schools, and that's going to be a foul on James. That will send Kylie Diaz, number 55, to the line. Kylie Diaz playing for one of the BFBC teams, if I recall.
6-foot junior.
And STMA, they're going deep into their bench.
No kidding.
They already sent in 9 players, but St. Michael-Albertville, they have that history. That state tournament in 2009, you were talking about that comeback against Rosemount. They're no stranger to it. They had to come back from 12 down against North back in 2009, if you remember that one, to win in 3A. Since then, they've been in 4A, and they played well.
Yep.
Kylie Diaz makes both free throws, and the Knights lead 18-14 over Como Park. Walker, got it.
That was a tough shot, too. A little off balance right along the baseline.
Knights on the run again, and Piper Carlson scores. And that's going to be a foul on Lauren Olselton. She got a little too close there to Shania Nichols-Vanette. Como Park, they have a lot of history. They just don't have a lot of state tournament appearances. They've come close, losing back-to-back
You remember
section
when
finals.
Andrea Adams was there just a few short years ago.
Who could forget her? Walker for 3. Bullseye.
Ooh.
Andrea Adams, my YouTube audience couldn't get enough of her. But you know what? She helped build the program up. She paved the way for athletes like Ronnie Porter, KK Asberry.
Yep. And a chance now for Como Park to poke their nose out in front.
Ronnie Porter in trouble. Maintains her dribble. Goes up and lays it in. And that was a display of smarts by Ronnie Porter. I believe someone from STMA touched the ball, so Ronnie was able to start a new dribble and took advantage of the situation. Carlson is fouled and she'll shoot 2.
Piper Carlson again. She's awfully tough to contain down low.
You could say that about a lot of St. Michael-Albertville players. Remember, you and I were there when they played Hopkins, and they almost got the win. Hopkins' defense is what got to them late, but STMA
threw a scare at them.
And to me, that was a sign that they belonged in the lake. I mean, they already did, as Emma Miller fires the 3, no good. STMA, I think they deserve to be in the lake.
Yeah.
I know they don't control that per se, but that was a signal that they were going to fit right in. And you know what? It's done wonders for scheduling. And it makes for some fun connections, too. I'll explain in a moment. There's Shania Nichols-Vanette, much like her sister, a 3-point threat. No good, and that was number 2, Ellery Tennyson. Como Park going to their bench now. as we're tied at 21. Tessa Johnson, 3-ball, corner pocket. That is the first field goal for Tessa Johnson.
Seems hard to believe it took that long to get it.
Well, look at her teammates.
Yep, true.
You don't have to put up points in a hurry when you've got folks like Carlson in there. Offensive rebound to Nichols Van Nett. Ronnie Porter for the answer. In and out. And winning the battle for that rebound was Carlson. Here's the 5'2" Emma Miller. Carlson steps into a 3. Off the back iron, Emma Miller gets the rebound and will bank it off the window.
I tell you what, we've seen a lot of her just in this first half.
Well, there's another reason why Tessa doesn't need to score in a hurry. Emma Miller has 10 points. Ronnie Porter to Ellery Tennyson. She wears number 2. Ooh,
oh, God, look at that.
Miller to Johnson. Nice transition set. Abby Hoselton.
Now that's how you run a
finish.
transition opportunity.
I was not a fan as Yolanda England calls timeout. As soon as Tennyson made that pass, I'm like, oh, that could be dangerous, and it was.
Yep.
The Knights have scored 7 in a row to open up a 28-21 lead.
Well, and I was just about to say, if you're Como Park, you got to feel pretty good about where you're at, but that was just a few short minutes ago before this 7-0 burst.
Como Park, led by Yolanda England, part of the coaching staff with Alexis Gray Lawson for several years. Then when Alexis took a job in California, Yolanda stepped in and has done a terrific job keeping Como Park in the conversation. And I think it was a great hire in the sense that it's also in-house. Folks know Yolanda, Ronnie, her oldest daughter. Her son is playing college ball. There's another daughter coming up in Amani Crump. So she's someone who can continue that legacy that was founded by Andrea Adams and Alexis Gray Lawson. You mentioned Andrea Adams, that 2016 team, and what she could do to will her team to victory will never be forgotten. The standard bearer, her number's retired, by the way, her number 15.
Wow.
And the way Ronnie Porter has played in her career with Como Park, they may have to retire number 1, but Tessa Johnson comes up with the steal, hooks up with Carlson for the finish. And the Knights on a 9-0 run. Asberry looking to end it, no good. Dimitrick up and in. That's the second putback for Chloe Dimitrick. Johnson, the kick out to Carlson. Over to Miller. Short. Asberry with the rebound, wants to hook up with Walker. I don't think she has the numbers for a transition play, no, so they'll back off. Porter tried to shake Abby Hoselton, couldn't do it. Miller weaving through traffic. Ava House has it, back on the floor now for STMA. Tessa Johnson. I'll tell you what, give props to Ronnie Porter. I thought Tessa Johnson was going to get a turnaround bucket.
Yeah.
Ronnie Porter reached in there and said, "You're
so
not going
fast.
up on me." Knights with the ball, but Ronnie Porter.
I like that scrappiness.
Well, that has defined Ronnie Porter her entire playing career, because she's not going to intimidate you with her height, 5'3". One of her nicknames was Peanut. Although I think she prefers Ron Dog, which was the moniker that she got while she was on North Tartan's AAU program. Tessa Johnson to the line for 2. And Jada James hit with 3 fouls. And if you read the breakdown book on Tessa Johnson, I think Kent could have taken up far more space than they allowed.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that Como Park is going to have to limit those second and third opportunities. That cost them there.
Who got that bucket? Who got that last one,
I
Alex?
want to say that was number 23, Ava House.
And the Knights have a chance to add to their lead, and they will on another fast break play. That definitely was Ava House. Porter for three. Ronnie has not found her three-point stroke yet. Miller with the touchdown pass to Carlson. Count it!
What a run here by STMA.
A 16-2 run, and Tessa Johnson can make it 17-2 pending the free throw. And she does. Tessa just needed some time to get warmed up.
Yeah.
She scored 7 now. But again, Emma Miller with 10, Tessa Johnson. It's not unlike what Paige Becker's had at Hopkins as Chloe Dimitrick fires the corner three. That comes up short. Knights looking to run again. They don't see the numbers, so they'll reset. But it's not unlike what Hopkins had with Paige Becker's. Paige didn't have to score all the time because she had so much support around her. Como Park comes up with a steal. Porter to Walker. Shakyla too strong on the fast break. Having the star athlete helps, Alex, but you know this. If you've got good teammates surrounding you,
Yeah.
you can take a breather. You don't have to worry about jacking up shots and trying to get 30 every night. You can let the game come to you. Nichols Van Nett to Asberry. Como Park trying to make that three-point shot work. They just can't quite do it. Walker has one three-pointer. That's it. And the Knights are flooring it. That transition game, the key element in this 19-2 run.
And suddenly that deficit has ballooned to 17 now for Como Park. Clearly in the danger zone.
Como Park trying to make that three-point shot work. They've had some difficulty inside as of late. Nichols Van Nett in a little bit of trouble. Porter fakes the three, works her way inside, and they will call it a foul on the floor. Okay.
Looks like Ronnie Porter might have taken a little bit of a nasty spill there, but I think she's all right.
A line change substitution for St. Michael-Albertville. Jada James, she has 3 fouls. And she gets fouled by Shakyla Kraft. STMA had a few to give, so it's not worrisome yet, but you still don't want to see that if you're Ken Hamry, a couple of those cheap fouls like that. Porter trying to feed it inside to James, and that was an ill-advised pass, at least from my vantage point.
Too many long arms in there.
And there's one of them who will go to the line for 2. Kraft, I believe, was part of the Farmington program last year before going up north to St. Michael-Albertville. Kraft could be one of those players to watch in future seasons.
Puts the first one down.
And the Knights, 11 of 15 from the line. And while that may not be the greatest percentage, here's a stat that will blow you away, Alex. St. Michael-Albertville, 11 of 15. Como Park has yet to get to the free throw line.
Wow. That does seem,
But it goes back to what you were saying about STMA and their ability to run the floor, penetrate inside.
Yeah.
It's harder to draw fouls on jump shots.
Right.
Como Park, they're having to settle for three-pointers and a few transition scores. Knights with plenty of time. Kraft guarded by Nichols Van Nett. Bounces it over to Holzelton. Lauren Holzelton, that is, and she scoops it in. Lauren Holzelton with a scoop. The run now is 23-2. And Como Park struggling to find anything. That might help. Jada James hooks up with a cutting Walker, and Shakyla will go to the line for a three-point play.
Crafty move by Jada James there, getting that.
Como Park is still going to trail big going into the half, but that's a play they sorely needed. Walker up to 10 points. STMA won't hope for the final shot because they end up throwing it away. Mackenzie Berg coughs it up. Mackenzie, I believe, the younger sister of Ava Berg from Elk River. Porter. Asberry passes up the three, bounces it over to Nichols Van Nett. They swing it out to Walker, fires the three, and Jada James with the rebound and the putback. So Como Park will end this. Go ahead.
Nice little boost for this Cougar team going into the halftime break.
Well, you read my mind. Como Park gets a couple of momentum boosters. And beating the buzzer off balance is Lauren Holzelton. She had the smallest of spaces along the baseline, beats the buzzer, and St. Michael-Albertville leads Como Park 46-28 at the half.
Well, I tell you, it was interesting. We had a pretty tight nip-and-tuck ball game when it was 21-all, and then all of a sudden STMA just exploded on a huge run, and that's where we're at right now.
A 23-2 run to be precise. Como Park, they have their work cut out for them if they want to make their way back, but these are two scrappy teams, a long way to go. Anything can happen. Stick around. The second half is coming your way in the Pat Patterson Thanksgiving Tip-Off.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in!
And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Second half almost underway at Hutton Arena. Hamline University, Mike Peden and Alex Nagel, Pat Patterson Thanksgiving tip-off. The longest Thanksgiving tip-off in girls basketball. St. Michael-Albertville with a 46-28 lead over Como Park. And look at this. Emma Miller with 10 points, Piper Carlson with 8, Tessa Johnson with 7. Lauren Holzelton has 6 off the bench. Como Park led by Shakyla Walker with 10, Ronnie Porter with 6. But the difference is the transition game and free throws. The Knights, 11 of 15 from the line, Como Park 1 of 1. And we've seen time and again, St. Michael-Albertville on sets or after scoring plays, turnovers, they floor it, and they're getting a lot of points on the fast break.
Yep. Well, and how impressive it is when you look at this STMA team. We know about Tessa Johnson, of course, but what's really impressive is how they can spread the wealth. They have so many people who can contribute, and that's just off the bench.
Again, this is the second of 5 late conference games Como Park has on their schedule. They get Hopkins again on Tuesday, Wayzata and Eden Prairie in January. And Jada James will go to the line for 2.
Well, if Como Park is going to make a significant dent in this deficit, that's one way to do it. And we saw them get into transition opportunities of their own during that first half when things were still close.
Jada James wants to open her own bakery someday.
Oh.
She's also quite the softball player, plays in a slow pitch league and has a lot of strength. quite the home run hitter. I'm surprised that she doesn't give the fast pitch version a go. I think she could put up a pretty gouty slugging percentage. But Jada James makes both free throws. Here is Abby Hoselton. Her shot is no good. Ronnie Porter with the rebound. This is what Como Park needs. Get a few stops, make a few buckets, and they can work their way back in this game. Porter to James on the pick and roll. James comes up short. And that will be a foul on Walker as she bumped Ava House. Como Park in Section 3A. That didn't change, but some of their section rivals did. De La Salle back in that group with them. Como Park and De La Salle had quite the rivalry a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And now they have a chance to rekindle it. They will play each other at the Tip-Off Classic next weekend. Those two teams, you figure, are probably going to be in the final in Section 3. Johnson out to, well, Hoselton has it. Now Johnson left alone. She'll launch the three. Short there. And visitation in that group as well, Alex. We saw them yesterday. I think they need another year or two. One of their coaches was telling me as much, but they've got the building blocks to be a contender down the road. Jada James comes up with the ball after Miller was denied, and Ronnie Porter, I think she was blocked from behind by Carlson. Asberry making a move for the steal, but Emma Miller keeps it away. Tessa Johnson fires another three. Off the mark, but Jada James, well, I thought she overran her mark, but works out for Como Park, a dead ball rebound. 16:09 remains in the second half. A lot of history. Even though it's the first weekend of the season, you can't glean too much from it. We've had some memorable matchups here. Shakyla Walker hesitates. Leaves that one short. Tries again, no good. Como Park, they've left a couple of those short-range looks empty. Ronnie Porter beats her coverage, but...
Both teams missing on transition opportunities.
Yikes. Tessa Johnson, you know she's not going to miss. Tessa played with her Lake Conference rivals in the Nickel-Dickle 3-on-3 tournament this fall in the team they called the Lake Four. That group featured Amaya Battle, Mara Braun, and Nia Holloway. Those three all going to Minnesota, of course.
Yep. And
Tessa Johnson, a well-respected member through the North Tartan connections. 6 to shoot for the Cougars. Porter was looking for James. James didn't see her, and St. Michael-Albertville is not going to score in transition because Emma Miller couldn't catch up to the ball. But a three will be nice. Carlson with the offensive rebound. They'll try again for three. It's Emma Miller, and she knocks it in.
I'll tell you what, Emma Miller really has that three-point shot from the top of the key in her back pocket.
5'2", but she packs quite a wallop. Another miss for the Cougars. Knights with numbers again. Baseline jumper does not drop. Tessa Johnson with the offensive rebound. And they will finish. Abby Hoselton scoring inside. Yolanda England calling timeout. St. Michael-Albertville extending their lead, 53-30.
Yeah, it's a tough row to hoe now for Como Park.
But this is what Yolanda England wanted, not necessarily to have her team struggle,
Right.
but they couldn't play outside the conference, and no one was thrilled about it. That was out of their control. That was a conference designation. So last year, Como Park, they just had to beat up on their conference rivals while some of the other teams were at least able to play outside of it.
Yeah.
So Yolanda England wanted to make up for that, and when you looked at the schedule they put together, Como Park may take a few losses. The Lake Conference teams, you know they're going to be tough.
Yep.
All 4 of them they've got on the schedule. De La Salle, that could be an early section preview. They play Providence Academy December 9th. So they're going to have to deal with the likes of Madden Greenway and the Count Sisters. They get Austin later in the year. They're a solid group in 3A.
Yeah.
Minnehaha Academy, Becker to end the season. When you look at that schedule, they could drop a few games, but they hope it will better prepare them compared to last year.
Well, again, you look like, as you alluded to earlier, the long-term outlook is to get these tough games now, which will hopefully parlay into success for them come, playoff section time.
The Cougars, they start their season with 3 straight Lake Conference teams. Well, 3 matchups, I should say. They get Hopkins twice. The issue afflicting Como Park right now, they're not getting those short-range shots to go in. Tessa Johnson, 3-ball, corner pocket, and the foul.
I tell you
There's your story in a nutshell, though. Como Park, they're struggling to score inside right now.
Yeah.
St. Michael-Albertville, more often than not, getting what they want.
Yep.
Tessa Johnson at the line. The Knights looking to blow this one open. An offensive rebound. And a 5-point play. Lauren Hoselton on the O board. 58-30.
I'll tell you what. You talk in terms of state title contenders. STMA, in my humble opinion, Mike, has got to be in that conversation.
They are the favorites to win Section 8 with Tessa Johnson back. Elk River may have something to say about that. But you look at the field, you could get conceivably 3 Lake Conference teams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, easily.
As was the case 2 years ago in 2020 when Hopkins, Eden Prairie, and STMA all made the field. High-low play for Dimitrik, and that pass is too long. Como Park throws it away. And Como Park just struggling to contain that speedy lineup for STMA. Kylie Diaz is back out there. Mackenzie Berg as well. STMA putting in the second team. And Kylie Diaz will go around Dimitrik for the score. 60-30. And the Knights, I'll tell you what, Alex, that Lake Conference is going to be a whole lot of fun this year.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
It usually is, but when you look at the talent, and you look at the chemistry with these teams, we're going to see Hopkins and Minnetonka later. Diaz to the line
and
for 3-point play.
You talk about the chemistry thing. That's not always an easy thing to quantify, but you watch how this team works together. We have your players coming off the bench, in numbers. I mean, this is a group that works together really well. Since
Como Park tied it at 21 back in the first half, St. Michael-Albertville has outscored them 42-9. Make it 43-9. Diaz with 7 off the bench. And Como Park certainly has that cohesion as well.
Yeah.
Porter and Asberry have played on this team since 8th grade. Nichols Van Nett, a member since 7th grade. Diaz blocking Asberry. But that late conference, you've got 4 contenders in that group as Kraft knocks down the 3, and
boy, when it rains, it pours, doesn't
the
it?
STMA, they're just toying with them now. It feels that way. This is getting ridiculous. Como Park looking for something, and they get a 3-pointer from number 45, Kayla James, the younger sister of Jada. Tessa Johnson pulls up. Can't get that one. Dead ball rebound to the Knights. We should point out that if the margin is 35 or more at the 9-minute mark, we will go to running time.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this game to go to running time, but as St. Michael-Albertville,
seems the direction we're headed.
well, they're in sync. Shakyla Kraft knocking down threes and taking names. That's her second. And Kraft with 8 off the bench. Walker to James. Now Jada wants in on the 3-point action. Ronnie Porter will score on the putback. We haven't heard much from Porter as of late. And it looks like the Knights are going to go to 2-0. Kraft, another 3. Bullseye!
Oh, goodness. Somebody call the St. Paul Fire Department, for God's sakes. She's on fire.
Or as Dan Patrick would say, she's in fuego. And that's not how a high-low play usually works. Asberry tried to hook up with James. Instead, she almost got it to Diaz. She couldn't handle it. Oh, well, Como Park, again, they're going to take a few hits early this season. A rematch with Hopkins is not going to be kind to them, but how do you become the best? You play against them. Becker, they did the same thing when the Tip-Off Classics. Oh, my goodness. Oh, if that went in, I would have been done. I would have walked out of here.
Porter will get one here.
Como Park looking for any sign of momentum. Ronnie Porter up to 10 points now. And Como Park, they'll get their chances.
Oh, yeah.
Some think they could make a run at some scoring records, especially when they get to conference play. And Ronnie Porter with the poke from behind that leads to a steal. Nice set, and it will end with a KK Asberry scoop. Kayla James will get the dime, and that was set up by the poke from Ronnie Porter. Diaz scoring inside. And we have an injury timeout.
Didn't see what happened over there.
It appears to...
Might have taken a shot.
Shakyla
Looks
Walker
like on the
took a
left
shot
arm.
to the arm, yes. So we will stop play with 9:19 to go. I thought this game was going to be a little bit closer, Alex, but it speaks to the efficiency and the cohesion that St. Michael-Albertville has built over the last several years.
Yeah, early on, it certainly looked like that. But I tell you what, when this STMA team decided to explode, I mean, they
did. A 23-2 run set the tone. Jada James left open, and I guess we're close enough. Well, they're going to start running the clock.
They're start running the clock now.
Doesn't really make much of a difference at this point. Technically, it's 9 minutes, but we're close enough, and this outcome is well decided here. 8:45 to go, but looking ahead, St. Michael-Albertville, we know it's going to get tougher for them in late conference play. You know, they'll be in that Tip-Off Classic as well. St. Michael-Albertville actually gets Stillwater in that one. The Knights and the Ponies, they were scheduled to play each other in the bronze medal game. And that's going to be free throws for Abby Hoselton, the freshman. Lauren, the elder of the Hoselton sisters, plays lacrosse. Abby, as we noted before, volleyball, softball, and basketball, her 3 sports. Emma Miller considers herself a good whistler. Some fast facts about STMA. Hoselton splits at the line, I believe. Shakyla James.
Despite the lopsided
Knocks down
score, a
another
few bright spots here for Como Park.
Well, Shakyla James has a couple of trays to her credit.
I'll tell you, Emma Miller has really grabbed my attention here this afternoon.
Emma Miller has 15. And you're not going to see any runaway scores. Emma Miller with 15. I think Tessa Johnson, her day is done. She'll get 12. But she made some other things happen today in categories I can't keep track of because I'm not fast enough. But the Knights, I think they'll take this one after having to work the way from a double-digit deficit against Rosemount. We'll see them later tonight when they take on Hopkins. Rosemount within a point of the 4A championship last spring. Porter off the screen. And that's something, had that changed for Ronnie Porter, I think Como Park, they missed a few too many threes when they needed them. And that can happen sometimes. STMA missing that three-pointer. That was number 21 as they send out some of the deep players. That's Zaya Esterberg. I'm making a guess on the pronunciation. Chloe Dimitrick will go to the line for 2. Dimitrick, one of the Como Park sharpshooters, has an affinity for classic cars. Got that from her father. Her father also uses the term all gas, no brakes for the Como Park program. A few other schools have adopted that at the college level. Dimitrick makes both free throws, goes up to 6. St. Michael-Albertville not shying away from their identity. Lauren Hoselton with 10. Look at this bench scoring, Alex. Hoselton with 10. Lauren, that is. Shakyla Kraft with 11 with those 3 triples. And Kylie Diaz with 9.
You know, the thing when you look at this STMA roster is just how many juniors that are on this team. You know, as good as they are right now, they may be even, which is a scary thought, even better next year.
Gabby Voigt adds 2 more points to the bench column. Ronnie Porter missing the 3. 32 bench points for St. Michael-Albertville.
That's, I tell you what.
And it's not just because they're up big here. Make it 34. And Ken Hamry's going to call a substitution timeout. 34 bench points. And again, it's not like they just threw in all the second team, the second stringers in garbage time. Kraft had those 3 triples earlier. Lauren Hoselton and Kylie Diaz made some plays. But if you're going to contend in the Lake, you need a deep roster.
Yeah, you
if
really
you want to contend
do.
with the likes
you
of
really
Hopkins.
Do. Exactly.
Minnetonka, they're getting deeper now.
Yep.
And don't forget about Wyzetta. They can go pretty deep as well.
I tell you
and
what.
They've got Mara Braun back for one more year. Como Park, don't let this result fool you. They are expected to contend in Class 3A.
You'll be hearing more from this team later on this year. You can bet on that.
And they picked up some big wins 2 seasons ago when they went outside the conference, including one over Minnehaha, the defending 2A champions at the time. Gabby Voigt to the line for 2. So what we're seeing out of STMA, indicative of the precedent and the history they've established. They like to run up the score. They like to fly with their offense. That's what makes those Hopkins matches so much fun, especially the last few years. Those two teams always play close. Deja Simmons will get some time. And Como Park, you look at their bench, they look a little flustered. I talked to Yolanda about the Hopkins game. You didn't get any sense that they felt Como Park wasn't going to win. She went back to some of the intangibles that Como Park could have improved on. So in her mind, this wasn't a schedule loss per se.
Right.
But Como Park, I think they've got to step up the efficiency as the season moves along. They missed a lot of threes early, and they had trouble getting inside where STMA did not.
Yep.
KK Asberry at the line, and I've run out of space on our score sheet here, but I can't tell you we've got players that aren't even on this roster initially. I don't know.
You're kind of clueless.
Nikki Braun is 35. That much I can tell you. I don't know who 22 is. And I think we have Molly Ruland out there.
That usually has to fall on me because I don't know who some of these players are. But so when it falls on you, I feel a lot better.
Molly Ruland is out there, 45, but I can't tell you who number 22 is, and I'd like to offer my apologies now. And knowing how my luck goes, she'll score. Oh, okay, she won't, but Asberry picks it up. Again, this result, not indicative of Como Park's potential. You don't have to worry about the Knights in 4A. They will be a force in 3A, and they are going to play a lot of tough competition. The question is, what will they look like heading into section play? And will they be more prepared? Again, they felt had they had a normal schedule or they could go outside the conference, would have been a different story against St. Croix Lutheran. They don't have to worry about the Crusaders this year, but the Islanders are back in their section in 3A. What could set up another showdown? There's a three-pointer for Nikki Braun. So she'll get on the box score on the girls basketball hub. KK Asberry with the 3. And that will bump her total to 9. The Cougars, I think, wanted a few more threes earlier, but a wire-to-wire win for the St. Michael-Albertville Knights. After it was 21-21, STMA went on a 23-2 run, and that was all she wrote. Tessa Johnson with 12. She had a big performance against Rosemount yesterday. Emma Miller with 15. What a show by STMA today. And that's a final, 86-50. Alex, this St. Michael-Albertville team, they're back and they mean business.
I tell you what, all I can say after watching this STMA team here this afternoon is buy stock in STMA, Mike.
Yes, keep an eye on them as the season continues, but we have a long way to go. We'll try to get a word with a couple of the Knights players before we wrap it up. This is high school girls basketball. Pat Patterson Thanksgiving tip-off. St. Michael-Albertville wins 86-50 over Como Park.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. Let's put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Joining me are Tessa Johnson and Emma Miller. Emma leading the Knights with 15 points, although it really was an all-around effort today, Emma. You set the tone in the first half, and then that 23-2 run helped you pull away. So after going 2-0 this weekend, what does the St. Michael-Albertville team look like with them back at full strength?
It feels good. It feels good that she's back. It's truly a blessing playing with her, so I'm really happy she's back. So full strength is, I think we can beat anybody, so it feels pretty good to be fully healthy.
Well, it helps that you've got a three-point stroke, actually several sharpshooters on this team, but you've got one of the highest, smoothest looking arcs I've seen. That certainly helps you, but for someone at 5'2", that height may not scream basketball prodigy. How do you compensate for that, and what do you think someone like you can say to others who might be worried they're too short to play the sport?
I don't know, you just got to be aggressive and go for it. I got the high shot from her and her dad, actually, so that helped me a lot with my game.
So everything Tessa is responsible for, everything you've done?
Yes.
Tessa's responsible for everything that's happened to you.
Gives me all the confidence I need, so yeah.
Well, Tessa, no pressure, but I guess you're responsible. Like a lot of this team runs through you, apparently, so just make sure Emma behaves herself, all right?
I will. Don't worry.
Now, you couldn't play last season as you were recovering from a broken leg. You came back, of course, in AAU. Had a big club season. It's carried over so far into the high school season. How excited were you to suit up in an STMA uniform after having to watch on the sidelines last year?
I was more than excited. My first game back, I started tearing up before I got here because it was just like a blessing from God that I got back healthy after breaking the biggest bone in my body.
And you had a quiet 12 points, and I say that because your teammates did so much that you didn't have to go for 30, although we know you can. But after this weekend, how does it feel getting back out there? What does the chemistry look like? And what are you excited about now that that first weekend is out of the way?
Our chemistry is really good. I can tell that all the girls on the team, they want to be here, they want to play, and they want to win. We're all very competitive, and that makes me really excited for the season because we're all there for one job, and that's to win and have fun.
And you were instrumental in that 23-2 run, so even if you didn't score a lot, you were doing a lot of other intangibles. So when the game was tied at 21, what was the key ingredient that led you to pull away on that 23-2 burst?
I would say I have like a very competitive mindset, so I'm like, I want to win. And if my shot's not falling or if someone else's shot is falling, I'll look for them. So I'm just there to win and help my teammates become better.
Now, I know you're getting a lot of looks from colleges, and I'm not smart enough to weasel out any schools you're considering, but what is that process like for you? I know you've done some visits and you've got a lot of connections in the Lake Conference and beyond. How have you navigated all of that, and how do you think someone like your older sister and Kent, your coach who's gone through this with his players, how have you navigated all that terrain and made sure to not get overwhelmed by the census?
I would say just trust God. I pray a lot about it and listen to everyone. I listen to my dad, my sister, because she's gone through it, and other players that have helped me with it. But yeah, just trust God and pray about it. That's how it's not that overwhelming for me.
Well, no matter where you go, I won't find out until you announce it, so don't worry, I'm not going to ask you because that's your journey and I want you to enjoy every minute of it.
Thank you.
Before we go, do either of you want to say hi to anybody?
I don't know, hi, Mom, Grandpa, there you go. What about you? You go.
Hi, everyone. That's all. I don't have anyone specific.
Well, that's all right. Why not say hi to everyone? Because I think just about everyone will be watching this on YouTube and elsewhere. Well, thanks for stopping by. Congrats on the win. I know I'm looking forward to seeing you again later this season. And Tessa, welcome back. Emma, I hope you've saved a few threes for later in the year.
Yeah. We hope I sing a few things.
I hope you didn't use up all your threes today.
I hope not.
She didn't. Thank you.
Well, if Tessa says she didn't, then I know she didn't. Tessa Johnson and Emma Miller. That wraps up our coverage here for this game. We've got more coming your way for the Pat Patterson Thanksgiving tip-off later today.